APOPHIS, one of the most potentially hazardous asteroids ever discovered, is swinging by for a visit. In 2029, it's going to zoom past our planet, getting as close as just 32,000 kilometers, or about 1,900 miles, even dipping below the orbits of some of our geostationary satellites. And get this, it's going to shine as brightly as a satellite itself. This event is going to be a big deal, visible to billions of folks without needing any fancy telescopes or equipment. It's the kind of thing that only happens once in a blue moon, or in this case, once every few thousand years. But why are we so interested in this space rock? I mean, can't we just study it from down here? And why are we sending a whole spacecraft to check it out up close? These are some of the questions that might pop into your head. And of course, the big question, should we be worried? Now picture this. APOPHIS looks like a peanut shell. It was first spotted back in 2004, when it was chilling about 170 million kilometers away from Earth. At first, nobody paid it much attention. I mean, it was just another big space rock, right? But then, scientists crunched some numbers and realized there was a 1 in 37 chance it could smack right into us in 2029. Suddenly, everyone was on high alert. I mean, a 1 in 37 probability? That's serious stuff. It was like something out of a disaster movie. That's when they decided to give it a name that suited its newfound notoriety. APOPHIS, after the Egyptian god of destruction. Talk about dramatic, right? And it quickly became known as the most dangerous asteroid ever discovered. But before you start building your underground bunker, let's fast forward to March 2021. APOPHIS swung by Earth, not too close, but close enough for astronomers to get a good look at it using some seriously powerful radar. And guess what? They ran the numbers again and breathed a collective sigh of relief. Turns out, APOPHIS isn't going to ruin our day anytime soon. At least, not in the next century. But here's where it gets interesting. There's this thing called the Yarovsky Effect. Basically, when sunlight hits a rotating asteroid, it heats up the side facing the sun. As the asteroid spins, the night side cools down and releases the heat. This creates a tiny push on the asteroid, which can gradually alter its course. The Yarovsky effect is a bit tricky to predict accurately, but it can have a significant impact on where asteroids end up. Because we can't precisely forecast how the Yarovsky effect will influence APOPHIS's orbit, our understanding of its position as it approaches Earth in the upcoming years is somewhat limited. Scientists have to account for various potential paths depending on how much the Yarovsky effect is nudging APOPHIS. Some of these trajectories coincide with areas of space known as gravitational keyholes. If APOPHIS were to pass through one of these keyholes, Earth's gravity could tweak its path just right to set up a possible impact in a later orbit. Astronomers have been closely monitoring APOPHIS's trajectory since its discovery. Data from ground-based observations and radar scans suggest that the asteroid is gradually veering off from a purely gravitational path. If this trend persists, we can't entirely rule out the chance of a collision scenario in 2068. In simpler terms, there's still a slight possibility that this massive asteroid might collide with our planet within the next 50 years. The Yarovsky effect is influenced by factors like changes in an object's temperature, due to exposure to radiation, the composition of the asteroid, and stellar wind, among others. This means we can only draw solid conclusions if we make close and repeated observations. And this is where NASA's Osiris Rex mission comes in to bridge the gaps. The Osiris Rex is the same spacecraft that was sent off in 2016 with the mission to collect samples from the asteroid Bennu. On October 20th, 2020, it successfully touched down on Bennu's surface, scooped up a sample, and later returned it to Earth on September 24th, 2023. After releasing a capsule containing fragments of Bennu into Earth's atmosphere, the spacecraft descended via parachute, touching down in Utah, where the mission team eagerly awaited to recover the samples. The Bennu sample marks the largest asteroid sample ever brought back to Earth. But the spacecraft's journey didn't end there. Just 20 minutes after releasing the capsule with the Bennu sample, the spacecraft fired its thrusters, embarking on a new mission now known as Osiris Apex. Currently, it's on its way to rendezvous with APOPHIS. Osiris Apex stands for Origins, Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification, and Security APOPHIS Explorer. About an hour after APOPHIS completes its close approach to Earth on April 13, 2029, Osiris Apex will use Earth's gravity to enter an orbit around the asteroid. For the next 18 months, it will delve deep into the study of Apophis, gathering valuable data. Unlike with Bennu, Osiris Apex won't be able to snag a sample from Apophis. However, it will maneuver close to the asteroid's surface and use its thrusters to expose Apophis's subsurface, giving researchers insights into its physical and chemical makeup. Over the span of 1.5 years, Osiris Apex will meticulously map the asteroid's surface, enabling mission scientists to observe any significant changes brought about by Apophis's brief interaction with Earth's gravitational pull. Even though tidal forces may seem relatively small, they can still trigger minor landslides and reveal fresh material for study on the asteroid's surface. Additionally, the spacecraft will precisely track the asteroid's orbital motion down to the meter scale. This enhanced precision will empower researchers to accurately predict Apophis's future trajectory. Currently, predictions only stretch as far as 2116, but Osiris Apex's measurements are expected to significantly extend this forecast horizon. However, Osiris Apex isn't the only spacecraft gearing up to visit Apophis. Several missions are targeting the asteroid. Missions featuring smaller spacecraft, like Apophis Pathfinder, are slated for launch in 2025-2026. This spacecraft will execute the first-ever close flyby of Apophis, reaching the asteroid within approximately 1 year of its launch. Furthermore, earlier this year, NASA officials presented a proposal at the 8th Planetary Defense Conference to dispatch a swarm of tiny spacecraft to investigate Apophis. A thorough study of Apophis will undoubtedly pave the way for a better understanding of several hazardous asteroids lurking in our vicinity. These missions represent a significant step forward in advancing our knowledge of Apophis's behavior, ultimately guiding us in developing effective defense mechanisms against potential impacts. What do you think about this? Leave it here in the comments and take the opportunity to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.